Tonight she'll be sharing how listening forms the building blocks. The building blocks of relationships and helps manage situations better. So please welcome a speech entitled "The Building Blocks of Relationships." It's Divya running.
Why listen? Listening is for people who have no life, no views, nothing to share. It was 1996. I was at uni. On a late afternoon with orange glow covering me, I couldn't stop talking. And my boyfriend next to me kept on listening to whatever I was saying. That's my first memory of being listened to. A few years passed by. It's 2013. I'm a little uncomfortable because I'm not having some deep conversations with people. So one night I asked my husband, we don't talk as much these days. He thought for a while and said, I hardly get to complete a sentence because you have views on everything I say. Oh my God. Am I not having those conversations because I don't let people speak? A few years later, it's 2016, I'm at a community center and that's when the miracle happened. Somebody listened to me for 5 minutes without interruption and we had such a healthy conversation after that. I said, that's what I want to recreate when people speak to me because I felt so valued. And I started exploring more on listening. So, listening is listening to the words that are being said and listening to that's left unsaid. So we listen with our head, our heart, the gut feeling, the body language, tone, facial expression, movement of the eyes. Sometimes we are so emotional, it shows on our face. And sometimes we just don't have the right words, so we say something and it just comes out as another. So I started practicing 3 aspects of listening. So the first one being listening without interruption, no advice, no judgment, and trying not to respond. Because when I was doing that, I wasn't listening. Number 2, listening with curiosity. We all have a unique story behind us. We come from an experience. So I started getting more open-minded to what I was listening. And number 3, getting comfortable with the silence. This created ease and calm in my conversations. Ease creates, urgency destroys. With time, I could see people were engaging more with me because there was no judgment. They didn't have to pretend or defend their views. They could think differently about their problems and found new solutions. So they were coming to me not for advice, but because they learned something more about themselves. And so did I. I started understanding them better. So as I look back on my journey, I can see listening helped me build those healthy and trusting relationships. Not only that, listening is known as the secretive tool of influential leaders. Raise your hand if you've heard of Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela was known as a leader who listened. So if he was in any meeting, he would be the last person to speak. People felt listened to and could connect better. Listening changed my life for good. So I invite you and you today to practice listening in your very next conversation without interruption, with curiosity, and experience the magic. And as Dalai Lama says, when you talk, you repeat something you already know. But when you listen, you may learn something new. Thank you for listening.